Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to our sisters also who are at this time sitting with us. And good afternoon to you, our online viewers and online sitters and our members. How many of you know what is the name of the town of Jesus? What's the town of Jesus? Yes, Capernaum. Upon entering Capernaum, in the big gate, there is a sign that says, yes, Capernaum is the town of Jesus. And much there after Jesus left. You find the synagogue, and you find rubbles, which is said to be the house of Peter, very close to the synagogue. Ngayon, may mga museum, konti, pero hindi tulad ng Bethlehem na may mga malalaking buildings, hindi tulad ng Nazareth na napakaganda, na napakadaming mga simbahan, napakadaming mga buildings, walang mga buildings sa Capernaum. If you remember, it is a place where they did not believe in Jesus. But on that day, Jesus went to their synagogue. And in their synagogue, Jesus, last week's gospel, drove the demons. And he said, "Be silent, be still." Who is this man who can make the demons be silent? And drove them away. And Jesus healed so many of them. But in this gospel also, we hear that the disciples told Jesus, "Jesus, ang mother-in-law ni Peter ay may sakit." That means to say, si Peter kung may mother-in-law ka, di may ano ka? May asawa. Di ba? May asawa. Ang asawa niya, ang Mrs. ni Peter, si Mrs. Peter, ay may mother. At si Mrs. Peter, ang nanay niya, ay may sakit. And it was fever. During the time of Jesus, they did a lot for people who have fever. They would cut person, and they would have incantation, they would have, I remember one time, may nagtanong kay Sister Menchi, ano ba yung oremos ni Sister Epi? Bakit parang napaka-successful ng Regina Rica? Ano ba yung ginagamit ni Sister na oremos? Alam niyo kung anong oremos, let us pray. Yun ang panahon ni Jesus, ayun na may mga oremos sila para na mawala yung fever. Sa ating panahon ngayon, paracetamol, di ba? Or kung ano yung mga medicines. And, but you know what? According to recent exegetes, pwede na yung fever ng mother-in-law ni Peter ay ang kanyang galit. Bakit nagagalit siya? Kasi iniwanan ni Peter, sumama siya kay Jesus, iniwanan ang anak niya. It could be yung galit ni nanay, yung mother-in-law ni Peter. It could be yung sinasabi siguro ng mother-in-law na walang kwenta na asawa ito si Peter, walang kwenta na mister. Kasi bakit iniwanan ng anak ko? Pwede rin ang mga jealousy niya. Pwede rin yung resentment. Di ba nagkakakit pag masama ang loob, chances are we become sick. And that could be the reason why. But the miracle of miracle is this. Jesus left a very big synagogue. Jesus did not only heal so many people in a big crowd, but Jesus also dared to go to a small hut, a very small hut of a fisherman, to heal the sick, to heal a private person. Only one. And what did Jesus do? In many Gospels, it says, Jesus took her hand. But just took her hand is just like that. And there is a Gospel I read that says, Jesus grasped her hand, held her by the hand, and even helped her up. That beautiful gesture of touch was enough to heal her, to let her fever leave her body. How many people live through life without the gift of having somebody really interested in them? Makikita mo yan, sorry ha, sa mga politicians sometimes, naglalamano dito, pero ang attention hindi dito sa tao na nilalamano, pero doon na sa kabila. That is why my teacher, Father Willigis Yeager, I always tell you that. Father Willigis Yeager said, I asked him, aren't you tired seeing 80 of us? And Willigis Yeager said, what, 80? I only see one person at a time. Ang ibig sabihin niya, ang interest niya ay sa isang tao lamang. Hindi yun ang nagpapakalawat ka, nagsasabi, may ginagawa, nagsasabi na, ay naku, ang dami pa. Oh. Nagbe-bless tayo, for instance, receive the sacred oil of healing, ang dami pa pala, ang dami pa. But the interest of Jesus is just on that one woman who had fever, and he grasped the hand and he helped her up. At this stage in our life, when many of the people that we know nung araw, nasa Wuhan pa lang, ang layo pa, parang wala pa tayong kilala kung sino nagkakasakit. Ngayon, dito na talaga sa ating paligid ang mga may sakit. Just a few weeks ago, I heard that one of the great professors and one of the great teachers in the Philippines by the name of Father Percy Bacani is also sick in the United States of America. And today, Father Efren gave me a very good sharing of Father Percy Bacani. It's a pity I don't have my cell phone here. But he mentioned about the difficulty of breathing. He had pneumonia, he had COVID, the difficulty of breathing. But he said how, I cannot really mention the beautiful message, but it just shows to us how important is the breath. For many people who are sick of COVID, the breathing mechanism is really affected. And so we are very, very concerned about the breath. So when this woman was healed, what did she do immediately? She stood up and waited on them. Anong ibig sabihin? She stood up and served them. And when I read the gospel today, sabi ko, hindi pwede na hindi kami makapag-serve ngayong araw. I know na quarantine pa sana kami, nakatago kami, each one of us, meron kaming may apartment kami, may room kami, and we have separated our few sick sisters. They are getting well, by the way. Baka maraming nagtatanong ngayon kung kamusta na yung mga madre. So, hindi ko alam kung saan nanggaling itong virus na ito. Pero of course, it is all nakapaligid. That's why I said they are unsung heroes. Kasi nagko-continue pa kami na mag-serve. Nag-trust kami sa inyo na pumupunta dito sa Regina Rica na hindi namin natitest, hindi namin nakikita yung swab test nyo, kung negative sila o positive, wala. Trust lang kami sa temperature. And so with that temperature text, akala namin okay na. Pero siguro may mga pumupunta dito na nagsasabi na nagpapasalamat sila sa Panginoon kasi gumaling po sila. So hindi namin alam kung saan ang galing ito. And of course, it is at this time that we want to serve. And this woman is said to have been saved to serve. The mother-in-law of Peter was saved so that she can serve. So ito si Sister Menchi, si Sister Fe, and si Sister Kay. Kami ang nauna na na-test na nagsabi na negative kami. Marami sa mga sisters ngayon ang hindi pa lumabas ang kanilang mga results. That's why sabi namin na kailangan mag-take care lang sila. Although, salamat sa Diyos for the 4 sisters who are sick. I know you are very interested to know they have very, very mild symptoms. Body ache, body malaise. Sister Matt, parang walang symptom nga eh. Araw-araw naglalakad. No? Every time I always asking her, kamusta ka na, Bing? And she would always say, okay, okay. So, it's just that we were just worried about Joyce. Kasi one time si Joyce cannot breathe, had difficulty breathing. Ito yung sinasabi na when you are serving and when things come, we cannot say things are wrong. Kasi nag-i-enjoy kami ngayon sa aming quarantine. Matagal na namin hinihintay na may time kami para sa amin sarili. Siguro matagal na talaga ito na gusto ng Panginoon, bibigyan kami ng gantimpala, bibigyan kami ng gift of being able to rest and take care of ourselves. Right, sisters? No? And to sleep long, no? Okay, no? And to sleep long in the morning. And to sleep knowing that walang mga pilgrims na naghihintay sa taas. Siguro ito, regalo din ito. We do not choose anymore. When you stop choosing, God will choose for you. So we are very happy in a sense na at ang daming mga sa inyo nagtutulong sa amin. But when it comes, it pours. Every night, for the last week, every night parang may happening. Na aksidente yung aming sasakyan. Tapos na-hospital yung na-sideswipe ng motorcycle. May mga asikasuhin sa ospital, may mga nagproproblema kami na si Sister Joyce ay medyo nahirapan huminga, baka yun na yun. But thanks be to God, si Sister Menchi, may clinical eye, kinuha niya yung isang gamot na para siguro hindi hiyang kay Joyce. At ngayon, nagpapainit na, naglalakad. Sabi ko, mag-practice na kayo ng kakantahin natin sa March 16. Kasi March 16, 1521. Ano yung nangyari? Diba? So we will celebrate the 500th anniversary of the Christianization in the Philippines, and we are going to sing that song, Gifted to Give. And so I am happy siya. I'm very happy. But I want to say that there are 3 people in the gospel that I want to mention. First, Jesus. Jesus is not only healing in big crowds, but can go to small places like the place at the house of Peter. He can go to our small self to bring us healing. Second, the disciples. What did the disciples do? What did they do? They reported to Jesus. They told Jesus, look, Jesus, somebody is sick, the mother-in-law of Peter. How about us? Do we have time to report to Jesus, Lord, this is what happened? Do you talk to Jesus all the time? Is Jesus walking with you at all times? And thirdly, the mother-in-law of Peter. What did she do? When Jesus held her hand and brought her up, what did she do? She immediately stood up. Nawala na yung galit nawala na, di ba ang tao pag galit, ano itsura? I know. I know, may mga Ilonggo ako dyan, mga classmates na nakikinig. Okay, pangit, di ba? Pagalit, di ba? Pero tingnan nyo kung wala ng galit, ang mukha ng tao ay maaliwalas. Ang ganda ng mukha, ang ganda ng mata. Pero pag galit, pag resentful, pag indifferent, pag jealous, Diyos ko, ang mukha in Ilonggo is hindi magkaraamo. So, pag nawala na yung galit ng mother-in-law ni Peter, ay immediately she stood up to serve. Ganon din ang nangyari ngayong araw. Sana gusto namin patuloy pa rin kami na magtulog, di ba? Matulog lang kami at mag-relax lang kami, maglakad-lakad lang ng konti, mag-garden-garden ng konti, something that we like to do. But since we are saved, we thought, oh, let us serve. At saka first time ako na nagsalita na may mask, nahihirapan ako. May bagong gadget pa ito si Dina. Dito namin linagay itong gadgets na ito. But I hope that you can hear us. And this is what contemplative lifestyle means. To be accepting. And just like Jesus needed his time to rest. But then, the only way to rest is in the early morning hour. He stood up very early in the morning and went to pray. I hope you too would have this opportunity to stand and serve and also to pray. I would like to acknowledge our members who took time to be our feet, to be our hands, to be our heart, to be our head. In moments like this, when we are locked down, we cannot assist. We cannot assist outside. Otherwise, we would have been there in the accident area at 2 o'clock in the morning. The whole night, wala rin kaming tulog to coordinate. But I would like to acknowledge Lani, you, for being there. I'd like to acknowledge Rhoda, Udak, for helping us in that moment of crisis. Why? Sabi niya sa akin, naku, ang bata na yan, walang baba. Walang voice daw, ang driver namin. So in my mind of mind, sabi ko, well, kung wala si Jack na hindi siya makasalita, si Udak pwede talaga. Si Rhoda, she can talk. And she went there to the police station together with Lani. She accompanied. I would like to acknowledge Esther and Monette for all the fruits that they have sent. Hindi kami makalabas, hindi kami maka-shopping ng gusto namin kasi lockdown tayo dito. And I would like also to acknowledge Monette because yesterday, Monette accompanied in the checking out, in the discharge of this patient, pacified the family that we will be there to help them. Monette, together with Lani in her car, gusto pa nila mag-PPE kasi natatakot magpasok sa loob ng ospital. Pero sinabihan sila ng gwardiya, huwag kayo mag-PPE. Dito matakot yung mga pasyente sa inyo. But then, of course, si Monette and si Lani, they stayed until late in the evening just to be in the hospital to assist the discharge of the patient. And thank you to Charing, to Madir, to Tita Charing, for giving us fruits and grapes. And many of you who gave us tikoy. Chinese New Year na, malapit na, di ba? So salamat sa mga tikoy. Salamat talaga for being there, especially our members who are watching right now, who are sitting with us. Thank you very much. You were saved so that you can serve. Amen.